All the reasons why men going their own way. MGTOW is a worldwide social phenomenon, an online community of men who have chosen a lifestyle that avoids legal and romantic entanglements with women at all costs. A man going his own way values self-ownership above all else, believing that only he has the right to decide what his goals in life should be. He refuses to surrender his will to the social expectations of women and society, since he believes both have become hostile toward him. Some MGTOW make a pledge of service, cut off the masculine supply, and raise awareness against the millions of girls that use men and disrespect our natural role. The media has tended to cover MGTOW by mocking them. For example, Vice's profile last year entitled "This Group of Straight Men is Swearing Off Women" featured a photo of a fat guy in a homemade MGTOW superhero costume, protesting outside a feminist conference carrying a placard reading "Feminism is a refuge for women's failure," an article on Return of the Kings, a site owned by Rush Farrick. American blogger, known for his controversial writings and advice on the pickup community, deemed MGTOW as the creeping cult of male fight for freedom. Men going their own way will never appeal to anything more than the rejects of American society, because it's a philosophy that denies the fundamental nature of human beings. Most meetings will tell you it's more of a philosophy than a movement, punctuated with a serious helping of ZFG. Meet her men are unapologetically selfish and, unlike men's rights activists, aren't looking to change the status quo. Pickup artists hate us because they can't make money off us. Feminists hate us because we won't fight them. And women hate us because we won't give them what they want. Motivations from men who decide to go their own way vary. The discourse is at times unemployed. It's not hard to draw parallels between MGTOW and the Trump phenomenon. In both cases, men are yearning for a time in the past or in the future when they come first, and they blame other groups for their perceived loss of status. Both types are highly suspicious of the media and take pleasure in assailing it. When you come to this site, the first thing you see is a man walking away. By going our own way, we're saying we don't subscribe to any single set of beliefs or behaviors. So to get an accurate interview, you'd have to interview 16,000 of US1. MGTOW may want to build a cabin in the woods and live off the grid, while another may want to move to Thailand with 9 girlfriends and 20 kids but no wife. Another may opt for surrogacy and be a dad but not husband. Another may blend with urban life like anyone else and simply refuse a marriage contract or cohabitation. One of the things that makes MGTOW uniquely positioned for massive growth is the policy of disorganized resistance. A phenomenon where independent groups or people come to the same conclusions and actions against others based on shared philosophies. This isn't the only way MGTOW are tough to pin down. MGTOW are actually rebelling against 2 different things. A society they think privileges women more than men in virtually all institutions, and 2 bad guys like pickup artists and ladies, men who portray excess masculinity. They are somewhat bravely framing themselves as the overlooked good guys. Women, feminism, and pickup artists are all the problems. This way they are able to punt on having to unpack the many privileges that come with being a man in the US today. Instead, they can say, "This isn't me. I'm bowing out." Despite this serious loathing of pickup artists, nearly all of MGTOW grievances relate in one way or another to what they believe to be a systematic, geocentric bias against men. They specifically point to the following feminist double standards. False accusations. Harassment ends in just a few minutes, with little to no harm caused to the victim. Meanwhile, false accusations of amorous harassment have a long-term and much more devastating impact on the victim. A corrupt family court system. Despite all the rhetoric about equal rights between the genders, the genius-centric bias of the family court system is illustrated by the raw data available all over, and finally as old saying, women are dangerous drivers. You want to make women safer? Drivers take away the car. I used to think feminism fought for equality of opportunity for both genders. In today's culture, it means female privilege. I believe discrimination against men is every bit as bad as discrimination against women. Now men are the ones in need of justice and focus. A survey commissioned by the Minnesota Supreme Court found that 56% of the state's judges, both male and female, agreed with the statement. I believe young children belong with their mother. 69% of male attorneys had come to the conclusion that judges always or often assumed from the outset that children belong to their mothers. Assessment: 40% of female attorneys agreed with. Nearly all the attorneys, 94% of the men and 84% of the women, felt that all judges exhibited prejudice against fathers at least some of the time. When concerns over unfair favoritism like this are perceived to be falling on deaf ears, people tune out and start to do their own thing. Many point to the gender bias in family court as a reason why men are 8 times more likely to end themselves than women after a divorce. MGTOW could be an example of men deciding that this has become too feminized and they are going to abandon it. The most obvious counterexample would be the caretaking masculinity. I'm going to be a breadwinner and take care of my family. Or I'm going to be a patriotic leader for my country. They reject and withdraw from even the most familiar archetypes of American masculinity. That's all for today. Please leave a comment below. Remember to subscribe and activate notifications. Thank you for watching.